Thank you, Ken Corley, and thank you, Minister, for coming to answer this question. Now, last October, Minister, you hosted a Zoom meeting to consider the matter of core funding for Yeats Society Sligo. And at that meeting, attended by Director Susan O'Keefe, board members and all local TDs, it was clearly outlined to you and to your officials the urgent need for core operational funding to keep the Society on life support while it planned and worked towards a post-COVID future. Minister, I know I don't need to convince you of the immense value of Yeats Society Sligo. It is over 60 years old and celebrates the life and legacy of W.B. Yeats and our Nobel poet and his talented family. It's also worth noting that some of the people who set up the Yeats Society were contemporaries of W.B. Yeats. At the time, they were way ahead of the curve, and the Society now operates the longest-running international literary school in the world, and they are running the summer school online this year. They have promoted Yeats, Sligo and Ireland to many generations of international summer school students and have significantly helped to consolidate his reputation as a global literary genius, which in turn hugely enhances Ireland's cultural standing. As I said, Minister, you know this, your department knows this, and you also know that Yeats Society Sligo will close its doors at the end of September this year due to lack of revenue unless core operational funding is sourced. Minister, Yeats Society Sligo cannot be just another casualty of COVID. We're talking a reasonable amount of money here to keep the doors open as it begins to move towards a post-COVID future. In 2019, the Society at 13,000 visitors were on target for 16,000 in 2020. This generated its revenue. The Society was and is in profit, but it now needs assistance. It has a small number of staff who worked really hard to create a vibrant cultural institution, contributing to the economy of Sligo and crucially helping to keep Sligo and Ireland right up there in the international artistic realm. This has been hard fought for over 60 years by one volunteer committee after another, and now it's in danger of being lost. And just as they are planning for the centenary of Yeats' Nobel Prize in 2023. It's worth quoting the citation of the Nobel Committee when awarding the prize to W.B. Yeats, and I quote, it said, "For his always inspired poetry, which in a highly artistic form gives expression to the spirit of a whole nation." So, Minister, once again I say, we cannot lose this. We cannot put it at risk. And my question to you, and the question from Yeats Society Sligo, is why does the government not see fit to fund the work of a small charity which has an international reputation and supports the national poet? Now, I'm not saying you've completely turned your back. You haven't. They have received grants, but they are project grants. They are not operational funding. They do not allow them to keep the doors open. So, Minister, I'm asking you, core operational funding, please.
I am very much aware of the situation regarding the Yeats Society, and officials in my department have been in regular communication with this organisation. As you've pointed out, the Yeats Society has been in existence for 61 years and runs the long-standing and well-recognised annual Yeats Summer School, reaching out to students and lecturers in universities in major cities across the globe. Outside this, the Society runs a permanent Yeats exhibition, offers talks to visitors, locals and schools, and runs poetry events, creative writing and visual art classes for young and old. As the Deputy has mentioned, we both met with the Yeats Society and with other locally elected TDs in October 2020, and I wish to acknowledge the Deputy's strong advocacy and support for arts in Ireland and the Yeats Society in Sligo. I subsequently received a request for annual funding required by the Society to meet salary and operational costs. While it is challenging to consider entering into a new annual arrangement with any cultural body until the 2022 budget is decided, I will certainly be very mindful of the request in that context. In the interim, I wish to inform the House that in 2019 the Society was awarded the maximum grant of €5,000 under the 2019 Small Local Festival and Summer School scheme towards the annual Yeats Summer School. 600 attendees participated across the 9-day event in 2019. No application was received from them for this scheme in 2020. The result of the 2021 Small Local Festival and Summer School scheme will be announced later this week, but I am happy to inform the House that once again the maximum grant of €5,000 will be awarded to the Yeats Society for their 2021 summer school. This is one of 28 projects awarded funding under the 2021 scheme, which is a total allocation of €96,391. In addition, prior to the meeting in October 2020, the Yeats Society were awarded the maximum grant of €20,000 under the Audience Re-engagement Scheme for Small Regional and Specialised Museums, which was a once-off scheme as part of my department's response to the COVID-19 situation. The Society has also applied under Stream A of the Department's Cultural Capital Scheme 2019 to 2022 for building upgrades and a dedicated writers' room, and results of this scheme will be announced in the coming weeks. On the wider matter, my department provides annual funding to the National Library of Ireland, which houses the largest and most extensive W.B. Yeats collection anywhere in the world. The NLI also has a permanent Yeats exhibition originally opened in 2006, which has since welcomed over 1 million visitors. The significance and celebration of Yeats as one of the great giants of Irish and global literature is very much alive, and the department continues to have a core role in the preservation, display and dissemination of his work through institutions such as the National Library. In relation to the Yeats Society's request, I have asked my officials in my department to assess the Society's submission for ongoing funding in the context of the 2022 budget. The provision of any funding would be in the context of an agreed strategy, possibly involving the local authority and other interests, with a time frame and performance indicators for assessment of value in due course.
Dr. Harkin.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you. Apologies. Thank you for that comprehensive reply. I mean, I think it's clear from your reply that you are actively engaging with Yeats Society Sligo. Well, I know that, but that you and your department are putting serious thought into this. And it's always valuable to get a response from a minister that shows they are engaging and they're just not reading out a prepared speech. Now, you, in many cases, made a better case for Yeats Society Sligo than I did in my 4 minutes. And I am pleased to hear that you are mindful to consider application for funding. You said about the small local scheme and that they will get €5,000 when that's announced in the next few days or the near future. And Minister, everything helps. But you and I know that because of COVID, it's not the only organisation, but it's the one we're discussing today, that they are in serious financial trouble, and their accountants have told them they will have to close their doors by the end of September unless funding is found. Now, you did mention other streams of funding, and they are again hugely valuable and hugely appreciated, but they are capital funding. They don't help to open the doors in the morning, close the doors at night, pay the electricity bills, pay the insurance, maintain the websites, the apps, etc. I understand, Minister, it is difficult to find a way, a mechanism to give core funding to the Society, but you and I know where there's a will, there's a way. And COVID has shown us that we can take exceptional measures. I am hopeful from your response this morning that there is a way and that a way will be found.
Thank you, Deputy Minister, to conclude.
Thank you, Deputy. In closing, I would acknowledge the tremendous commitment of many people involved in ensuring popular recognition and appreciation of the life and work of W.B. Yeats. More than any other figure, he personified the Irish cultural revival and informs our understanding of a revolutionary transformation of Ireland, the greatest amongst our literary figures of the age. Yeats is acknowledged in libraries, exhibitions, seminars, literary studies and monuments at home and abroad. And I think it is hugely important that his genius is carried forward across the generations. And I would offer my thanks and encouragement to all those who are engaged in celebrating and promoting his achievements, including the Yeats Society. My own personal opinion, Deputy, is that I believe that Yeats would be, it is appropriate that Yeats would be particularly remembered and honoured in Sligo, and that students and admirers would have the opportunity to peruse themed exhibits where they visit the tranquil and beautiful area that I'm quite familiar with, that he found so inspirational. I greatly respect the work of the Yeats Society over their many years of dedicated interest, and I hope that it will be continued. I'm particularly conscious that recent times have been unprecedentedly challenging for their programmes, as the constraints in travel and gathering have been in effect. I would assure the Deputy and the House of my interest to contribute towards a sustainable future for the centre operated by the Yeats Society, and I have asked officials in my department to meet with the Society as soon as possible with a view to exploring options for the future sustainable operation of the Society in it, and I thank the Deputy for her interest in this matter.